Hello, and welcome to our Customer Billing Requirements series. In this series, we'll dive into specific customer accounts, focusing on the requirements to successfully process loads. Our expert collector for this account will guide you through instructions ensuring you understand the key standards needed to maintain compliance. Ensuring the requirements are met will allow timely invoice processing and payments. Thank you in advance for your adherence to these guidelines.
Hi, my name is Denaya, and I am the Accounts Receivable Specialist for all IMC accounts. We currently have 10 different IMC accounts. Please see below for the breakdown for each Bill to code. I've also included what the pro number starts with for each account to help distinguish between the Bill to codes. The billing guidelines for IMCKN dedicated is below. All work orders are sent from IMC Power to the email that's on file. The agency will have their own login to IMC Power and is responsible for submitting load status updates, chassis numbers, rate adjustments, actual dates, times, etc. The agency is also responsible for uploading signed paperwork and gate tickets. The billing specialist will invoice. You are required to submit invoices for drayage and accessorial fees related to the delivery on IMC Power within 3 days of the termination date. Accessorial fees are approved or declined within 24 to 48 hours of the submission date. Vendors have 30 days from the date of delivery to resolve all disputes. Please note that your vendor representative will be listed in the top left corner of all the work orders. The chassis contracts for IMCKN Dedicated are listed below. If you have any disputes, please send them to knchassis@imcc.com and chassisusage@imcc.com. The billing guidelines for IMC national accounts is listed below. All work orders are sent from IMC Power to the email that's on file. The agency will have their own login to IMC Power and is responsible for submitting load status updates, chassis numbers, their own rate adjustments, actual dates, times, and etc. The agency is also responsible for uploading signed paperwork and gate tickets. The billing specialist will invoice. You are required to submit invoices for drayage and accessorial fees related to the delivery on IMC Power within 3 days of the termination date. Please note that all chassis charges must be billed by the chassis team only. Do not include chassis charges on the freight invoices. The only time this is acceptable is if you are using a terminal-owned chassis. Accessorial fees are approved or declined within 24 to 48 hours of the submission date. Vendors have 30 days from the date of delivery to resolve all disputes. Please reach out to your vendor rep to advise if the drop and swap report is required. This is required for IMC national accounts. You will have a dedicated vendor rep. You will confirm all charges with your rep. The rep information will be on the work order in the top left corner, as highlighted to the right. Vendors are required to provide a drop and swap report for every shipment a driver moves not using the Power Direct app. Drop and swap reports are crucial to ensure on-time payments. All accessorials must be on the drop and swap report sent to IMC and must be submitted in IMC Power within 3 days of the load termination. The billing guidelines for all other IMC accounts is listed below. All work orders will be sent from IMC Power to the email that's on file. The agent is responsible for submitting load status updates, chassis numbers, actual dates, actual times, etc., and also for uploading signed paperwork and gate tickets. Invoicing is handled by the billing specialist. The billing specialist will invoice and add rate adjustments as needed. You are required to submit invoices for drayage and accessorial fees related to the delivery on IMC Power within 3 days of the termination date. Accessorial fees are approved or declined within 24 to 48 hours of the submission date. You have 30 days from the date of delivery to resolve all disputes. IMC National requires the below listed proof of delivery documents. These documents will be audited and then approved or rejected. If rejected, you cannot process an invoice until we get the required documents. Please be sure to upload all paperwork into the agent portal before closing the load. If you're delivering to a customer's warehouse or distribution center, this requires a signed BOL. If the customer refuses to sign, please notate that on the BOL. If you're delivering to a drop or storage yard, this also requires a signed BOL. If the yard security refuses to sign, please notate that on the BOL. And if you're delivering to a port or rail location, this requires an in-gate ticket from the port or rail. When using a BOL, the below items are required on the BOL. If you cannot produce a compliant BOL, please reach out to your vendor rep for an IMC National System-generated BOL to ensure compliance. Please note that all the information must match the carrier name, must match chassis number, and etc. Chassis usage and per diem. For IMC National accounts, all chassis charges must be billed by the chassis team only. Please do not include chassis charges on the freight invoices. The only time this is acceptable is if you're using the terminal-owned chassis. Any per diem or chassis invoice that's submitted 30 days after the original invoice date from the steamship line and/or chassis provider will be rejected. For all other IMC accounts, all chassis charges must be reported to IMC and added in as a rate adjustment in IMC Power. An A-bill will be created by the chassis team for any chassis charges not billed on the freight invoice. Please reach out to your vendor rep to confirm the chassis rate as you are responsible for negotiating that rate. The vendor's invoice for chassis usage and/or per diem should always include the container number, chassis number, in and out dates, total number of days, and amount per day. The chassis number that you submit through IMC Power must match the number on your chassis use invoice, otherwise the invoice is subject to being denied. If you notice that the chassis number in IMC Power does not match the chassis used for the move, please alert your vendor rep ASAP. Scheduling. Carriers are responsible for pinning loaded containers out of the port and pinning empty containers into the port. IMC is responsible for setting delivery appointments that correspond with the driver's pickup schedule. If you miss an appointment, please prioritize that container for the following day. Dispatched freight. Orders given by the customer should be pulled from the port before the last free day. The process starts with a vendor rep sending dispatchers a work order with all the necessary info that's needed to pin a container out or into the port. Once the work order is received, each vendor will go into the port website to pin the container out of the port by inputting the container and BOL. The driver will take an empty to the port that can be terminated, or they can go in with a bare chassis to retrieve an assigned container. After being loaded, the container must be taken to the correct facility that is listed on the work order. This operation is usually a drop and hook. So once the driver arrives, they drop the container and grab an empty that's on site. Please note that empty pickups are required to receive the full rate unless bobtailing out is approved. After termination, the driver will repeat the previous steps, usually allowing 4 to 5 turns per day. Empty returns. Rates are based on a round trip, 1 loaded container and 1 empty container. It is important for the drivers to understand that picking up an empty is a part of the rate. Delivering a loaded container to its destination and bringing back an empty to terminate keeps a steady balance of equipment within the network. Please note, if you fail to bring back an empty and your representative did not approve, you will only receive half pay. No exceptions. Status updates. There are multiple ways to stay connected for load status updates and other required shipment data. The updates can be accepted via IMC Power, EDI, or IMC's mobile app Power Direct. The information that's required is pickup date and time, chassis number, delivery date and time, and POD. I've also listed the contacts below if you need any assistance with IMC Power Access, Power Direct Access, or EDI setup.
I would like to thank the collector for taking the time to share the customer's billing requirements with us today. Remember, consistency in the following customer billing requirements is key to success. To stay on track with customer requirements, it's helpful to assign specific tasks to specific team members. This ensures everything gets done correctly and on time. Using the same process across your office helps everyone stay consistent and avoid mistakes. Some customers send out weekly scorecards to show how well you're meeting their expectations for real time updates, accuracy, and consistency. If you need help with anything on your scorecard, feel free to reach out to Lisa Snyder. Lisa can help you create a plan to improve your scores and stay in compliance. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch our webinar. We hope the tips shared today will help streamline your billing practices. Please do not hesitate to reach out to any member of the training team if you have any questions. Their email address is listed below. And again, thank you for watching and have a great day.